I'm Michaela Smith with the Princeton Art Guild, and I'm here with Miranda Meeks, and we just finished up an awesome reception for her students who are exhibiting in our gallery. Miranda is the middle school art teacher here in Caldwell County, and she's going to talk a little bit about the exhibit, what all we have going on, so that the pictures make sense to you when you look at the pictures.
This is probably a good thing. When you first walk into the exhibit, we have footprints that are taped down to the floor. And what these originally went with was this one project that the 8th graders did, which were tape people. And with the tape people, they create these three-dimensional molds and sculptures of themselves. But then they are in charge of creating a message with it and doing the installation portion. And so there were two different themes. The first theme was anti-bullying, and the other theme was career and college readiness. So for the anti-bullying theme, one group, their tape person is not up, but we felt that the footprints were so powerful that we wanted to make sure they were here. So the means of the footprints, or the meaning behind it, is that their tape person's message was, don't judge me until you walk in my shoes. So what they have done is they have created a fictitious person that these footprints are possibly the steps that person has taken in their life at some point, or the things that have brought them to the stage they're at in life. But they also know that each thing that is on a footprint is also something that is probably real in a student's life at school. But this is not to represent one specific student, it's a student that they've made up. But these are realities of some of our kids, unfortunately. So some of these things are serious, and some of these things are, you know, like my favorite color is, I don't know, blue. So this is what you get as you walk in to lead you into the gallery. And then as we come further into the show, of course, probably one of the first things that you're going to notice are all the wonderful, crazy tape people suspended from the ceiling. One of the best things about the tape people is we had one that, of course, went with the anti-bullying theme, and their tape person was sitting outside on the bench at school waiting for the bus, and their theme was, it's time for bullying to go home. So the funny story behind that is there were actually at least like 3 employees that had to turn around at one point because they thought it was a student that got left at school. So the kids didn't care what their grade was. They thought that was the accomplishment, that it looked real enough that a teacher thought a kid was left. So there's a funny and sad story for you about that. This one that we ended up being able to display, its theme is Kick Out Bullying. This one is Swing into Career and College Readiness, and of course it has a swing that it's on. This one says Reach Out to the Bully, and they did several hands to create a chandelier. The next one is Superman Doesn't Bully. And of course he's suspended like he's Superman and like he's flying. And then the next one has a little rod in her hand, like a director does in the band. And so it says Direct Your Way to Career and College Readiness. And then this one, with the football players, it's supposed to be Tackle Career and College Readiness. So they were very creative in coming up with these messages and these puns and these metaphors, and they were in charge on how they were to be displayed, because they're learning that if you don't like something, or if you have something to say, or if you want to make a difference, you don't have to yell it. They're learning that sometimes a visual message captures attention more. And it's a better way to protest something and get a message across without being so violent or being hateful or rude via text message and Facebook, because those are real problems they encounter today. This one was Race into Career and College Readiness. And the same kids that did this one created this car, and this car is completely made out of trash. And it's actually an outfit that you wear. This is part of our Trash and Fashion project, where they were to create an outfit that could actually be worn out of trash. They were not allowed to use like clothes that they went and purchased. They were not allowed to use fabric, really. They had to be very creative with how they did this and constructed it. And it was a group project, and they learned a lot of good working with together skills, because I promise there were many occasions one kid had an idea and the other one did not like it. So they had to learn how to work together and function and problem solve when something didn't go right. So there's a hole in the bottom, and there's a glove compartment inside, which is pretty funny. And they actually put this on, and they can walk around the room in it. We did a small study for a day about Andy Warhol and his Campbell soups, and how because of him, that's how pop culture, we have become so obsessed today with reality TV and with pop culture and being famous and everything. And then, of course, YouTube and all of that stuff hasn't, helped matters any with that. It's made it very much more accessible. So they've learned that this whole obsession with celebrity culture started with an artist, and that they had an impact on that in changing history. And then we've had the printmaking activities that we have done, where they went through and they did styrofoam plates, and they did a very complicated process with this, several of them, where they did multiple colors. So that whole process of layering with the multiple colors is a very advanced process, and I was very happy and impressed with their ability to do that and to understand it and take their time and see the project from start to finish. This is one of our favorite 6th grade projects that they do with these little optical illusion pipes or waves, as the kids like to call them, where they had to work on making it 3-dimensional and shiny, so I was very impressed with the 6th graders. This is kind of our Zentangle Doodly assignment, where they get to just kind of daydream a little bit and just kind of learn that even the art of just doodling, it can be beautiful at times. And so I was that kid that doodled on all of my notes in school, so they learn how they can take that, something that maybe they get in trouble for in another class, and learn how to focus that energy and do it when it's appropriate, and how they can make something beautiful out of it. This project, I really enjoy doing this with the kids because, first of all, it lets them pretend they're in kindergarten again and, playing and cutting out paper and stuff. But second of all, we were studying Greek art, and we were studying the importance of the vases in Greek culture, and so they had to cut out vases, at least 3 vases, to put on their collages. So they got to learn about the Greek vases, they got to learn about collage versus a mosaic, what the difference is, and then we also learned about Henry Matisse, and so they were supposed to do this with the inspiration of Henry Matisse and his style of paper cutting and collaging. So we got to have a lot of layers to this project, which was really, really fun and really, really cool. This project was a surprise, and I did not do this in class. This was not an assignment. This was a Trash to Treasure project. And she made this girl that did this piece made a little vending machine, and I thought it was so cute. It looks like it should be something you buy from Barbie's Dream House at Walmart. So I thought she did an excellent job with this, and I was very proud of her for that. And then these over here. This project is post-secret. And without having to go into a ton of detail about it, the students learn how even if they're not good at art, it can still be something that can help them get through a tough time or learn how to figure out how they feel about something or express themselves. And they don't even have to be good at it, but it lets them feel like their voice is heard. And so they have to create 3 different post-secret inspired cards, one about something they're afraid of. One needs to be an I can or an I will statement, something to empower them. And the third is they have to pick a teacher or a coach that has made a positive impact on them, create one for them, and then we send it to that teacher. And this was a collaborative 8th grade project where we learned how to take CDs and create weavings out of them and learn how to recycle things and find the beauty in things that exist. You don't have to just throw everything away. And then, of course, the mask project is always one of the favorite ones of the students. They lay out on the table, and we Vaseline their face so that they don't lose their eyebrows and eyelashes. It's very important. And then we coat their whole face. We leave them a nose hole to breathe. And then, see, as you can see, the nose hole is there. And then we coat their whole face in this white plaster gauze, much like when you get a cast put on if you break your arm. And then they learn teamwork. They learn how to trust each other. And then afterwards they get to decorate it and create the face to look any way they want. So I've been more than impressed with the students this year, and I'm always amazed at their creativity and just how fearless they are and how much better they get from year to year. So.
And speaking of fearless, we found some of the students who are modeling their artwork. So come here. And let's tell him what all these are made of, because this is so cool to see on the people. So just tell us what all we got going on.
Well, this is made out of wallpaper. And this is duct tape, and this is newspaper that I found how to make fun.
She looks fabulous.
Yes.
The skirt has newspaper. The flowers are red solo cups, and then a bunch of M&M wrappers on wallpaper.
Beautiful.
This is fantastic. And just to be honest, this is probably my outfit for Awards Day at school. In case you've ever been to the middle school for Awards Day before, it has become a tradition that I wear something that was made out of trash or something out of the ordinary by one of our students. So this is probably going to be my outfit for Awards Day, so stay tuned and come today. It's going to be fun.
And I just want to thank Miranda for doing this. This is our second year to do this, and she's really laid the groundwork to make this an annual tradition. And it's just so cool to see the students come in and get to see their artwork in the gallery, because that's something I didn't experience until I was in college. So thank you. And
You're very welcome.
It's so awesome to see her students interact with her. They love her. She has inspired them so much, and it's just so important to have her in our community. So thank you all.
We have one last little project we're going to tell you about that we didn't get to a while ago. And we do one project that some kids, this is their favorite, and this is called the Deconstructed Book Project. This is only one example of them. But basically, they take books that normally people don't want anymore, they want to get rid of, and they have to make three-dimensional sculptures out of them. So there's a lot of really cool things that you can do with that, and we always like to do this around the time where they're always focusing on Read Across America. So it's another cool way to get kids interested in books and thinking about them in different ways, which is something that's so important for our world and the way that things are changing, is for them to learn how to think differently and how to think outside the box and come up with new things. And that's going to be what makes them stand out in the work world at some point someday. So I can't brag enough on these kids and how creative they are and how wonderful they are and how much they inspire me. They make my job very easy to love doing. So appreciate you all watching. Stay tuned for next year. Cool things to come.